Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so we thank you for being on time. We're going to wait a couple of minutes for everyone else because it seems like the online stuff gets to be a challenge from time to time. And how are you today?
Pretty good.
Good. Okay. We're supposed to have two other people registered, so I'm going to give them just a couple more minutes. Can I answer anything for you right now while we're waiting?
Well, I think my big question was with what everything that's going on, if I can get some focus on, or an idea on what to focus on, so that I'll be in the best position I can financially through this with all the changes.
Got it. All righty. Well, I'll, when we start the messages service, I will definitely answer that for you.
Okay.
Anything in general for me? Because we got a couple of things that are supposed to be happening. We've got the Zoom meeting here, and it may be very intimate with just you and I.
Okay.
And then we've got, I'm supposed to be live streaming out on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, hi, this is T.S. Hall, the Stoic Medium, and this is our Spiritualism Experiential Messages Circle. So we've got a Zoom circle going on over here, and you're welcome to click on the invite somewhere along there and you can join us. We'll be shutting it down for new registrations in the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, we've got another one at 7:30 tonight Pacific time. So welcome, Lisa T made it. And so that's it. We're going to change up things slightly today. We're going to add an absence healing service. So this is an opportunity for you to send healing to those who could not be here, or friends and loved ones who can't be there with you. And the reason I'm adding this is because the ideal time to send healings is, I'm trying to, oh well, I don't know what I'm doing. I lost everybody. You all still there?
Yes.
Okay. So I lost your video and I've lost Lisa's video. But if you're still there, I'm going to trust you're still there. Let me go to this place. All right, we lost Lisa. Okay, so I've got one more thing I'm trying to figure out. I did it once and I can't figure it out again. I apologize. I put so much pressure on myself to be perfect, and I'm so friggin' far from it, it's not even funny. Okay. Okay, I have no idea what the heck is going on. Oh, well, we'll give this a shot. I'm going to give everyone a mute right quick. So here's, and hopefully Lisa will join us again. We'll have some other people join us. We're going to do an absence healing first. This is an opportunity to send healing to those who could not be here with us. If you're live on YouTube or on Facebook, if you're watching this at about 4:35 Pacific time, then you can participate. If you're not watching this live while we're streaming, remember, I'm not generating the energy. So what will happen is you're not going to be able to, the energy won't be sent. So if you're not going live, the absence healing won't work. So you'll need to skip past this part. I apologize. I got like 5 things going on at once here. I don't know what I'm doing. Hi, Lisa. You made it back. I've got you muted, so I think that's the one I need. Okay. So we're going to do an absence healing. After a brief prayer, you're going to hear a bell 3 times. Every time you hear a bell, I want you can change the person you're going to send a healing to. So bell 1, you can send the healing to person 1, bell 2, person 2, bell 3, person 3. What will happen is you want to hold an image of them in your mind's eye as though they're whole, complete, and perfect, the way you want their health to be recommended. In a brief prayer, I'm going to invite our spirit guides and teachers to send the healing energy that I'm projecting to the people you image for their highest and best good. And then I will project the energy for 3 minutes. So when the bamboo clapper goes off, we'll be done. So take a deep breath, get comfy. And as you do that, I will start the prayer, and I invite our spirit guides and teachers to step in close to assist us with this absence healing, to send the healing energies of the universe for the highest and best good of those so imaged for their highest, that they may experience health, harmony, complete well-being. And begin. Amen. I thank our spirit guides and teachers for their assistance in sending those healing energies to those so imaged for their highest and best good. Okay, let's see if I can get myself out of this trouble I'm in. All righty, so I've got Lisa, and you pronounce your name Joreen? Yeah, Joreen, you're going to have to unmute yourself.
Jay Lorraine.
Jay Lorraine, thank you. All right, so Lisa is neither one of your microphone or your camera are working. I got your chat. The new computer karma. Got it. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give Jailerine her message first and then answer her question. Then, Lisa, I'm going to assume that I have your permission to give you a message, and I will do that. And then you can type your question into the chat, because I see your fingers are able to do the walking. Okay. All right, Jailerine, would you like a message?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. I forgot to do my disclaimer, as I was reminded by Christopher. Christopher's my joy guide. Messages are not, your future is not cast in stone. It's simply a possibility or probability. The closer the event, the more likely it is to happen. It's given to you so you can either step around it or take actions to bring it about. Free will is always in application. When I come to you, I'm going to ask for a message for your highest and best good. And then after that, because it's a messages circle, you have an opportunity to ask a question about the message you just received or anything you would like. So let's see what Spirit has to say with Jailerine. By the way, I usually work with Tao Chuan Ling on this side. He's a high Chinese priest. He's my high teacher, and I've got Nathan on this side. I've got my protector behind me, and I've got Christopher, my joy guide, who's generally around the area of sitting on my lap. So, and typically they talk to one of your spirit guides and teachers in your crew, and they tell me what is for your highest and best good today. Okay, Jailerine. All right, so this message is coming from Tao Chuan Ling, my high spiritual teacher, and he's showing me two images in a split screen. The first image he's showing me is a very abundant loaf of bread and a tub of about at least 5 pounds of butter. And so that's split screen on the right-hand side. Then on the left-hand side, he shows me one of the biggest stock pots I've ever seen in a home kitchen. And it smells, because I'm getting a little clairsmelliance on this one, it smells like a very nice marinara sauce is cooking. And it looks very and smells very rich and abundant and fulfilling and nourishing. I'm not seeing any noodles or pasta, because I think that's the part that you don't have right now. So the feeling and the message around these two images is that right this moment, as things stand, you've got the staples, you've got bread and butter, and you can live for a very long time. Depends on whose definition of nourishing you get, but you can live for a very long time on bread and butter. Some people actually consider it a very nice treat. But you've also got between your network and people you know, community, and opportunities that you're not quite familiar with, you've got this big pot of marinara sauce. And the opportunity to go along with that marinara sauce will be the noodles or the pasta that you get to go with it. But as things stand right now, even if you just got a bowl of marinara sauce and your bread and butter, you can have quite a good, you'll get through and you'll survive. There also, so the interpretation on this is simply that put your feelers out, see if there's any assistance you can get from the various California government agencies or the agencies in the state you live. I can't remember. I think it's California. But then also reach out to other people about different ways they can help you, or you can get find that pasta. It's right there. It's right around the corner, but it's not jumping out into your shopping cart. You're going to have to go find it and reach out and get it and do some work to get the pasta to go along with this marinara sauce and the bread and butter. So it feels like you've got the core of everything you need. You just need the opportunity. And it feels like the opportunity is right there for you as soon as you start to focus on trusting your intuition and following this part of yourself on what to do next, as opposed to trying to figure it all out here. Because the problem with figuring it out all up here is there seems to be fear and apprehension getting in the way that's blocking your intuition from here. So the message is trust that no matter what happens, it seems like there's going to be adequate. You're going to survive. It's going to be adequate for you to really get to the point that you're comfortable and feel good. You got to reach out and start to use the intuition and start to follow up on things to find that pasta to go with your marinara sauce. And the other thing that's interesting about the way this image is being presented to me and where he's focusing my attention, I don't see a big cookbook out, and I don't see a big, a laptop or a iPad or anything open that you're following recipes from. So the skill set that you've got is all coming from, you've got everything you need. You don't need to go outside yourself. So it's not like you're going to a recipe card. You're using your skills and your capabilities and what you're naturally good at to get the results you want, which means you've got the resources, you've got the skills, you've got the experience, you've got the talent. It's just really now get in here and start to follow up. Oh, I've been thinking about this person for a while, so I should call them or shoot them an email or contact them on LinkedIn or Facebook. I got this email from 3 months ago from this person. Let me follow up with them. So it's really being proactive from here to generate the resources or to find the pasta that you want to accompany what you've got. And I'll bless you and leave you that and ask you if you have a question.
Thank you. That actually answers what I was really asking. The other would be just I fell at the beginning of June and broke my back, and I'll be in this brace for at least another month plus, and maybe just any feedback on that, what lessons that I need to be aware of through this, and best ways to make sure I have my ideal healing.
So I guess that's the reason I was inspired to do the absence healing at the beginning of this, is to open a healing conversation. So Tao Chuan Ling has just spoken with your teachers, and there's no inherent lesson. This wasn't a deliberate one of those spiritual accidents that happened to prove anything. This was just an accident.
Okay.
Having said that, it seems as though that everything is progressing along the way it should with the healing process.
Okay.
The biggest thing that it looks like that's hindering the healing process is the fear, worry, and apprehension you've got about the other problems we got going on in the world right now. If you haven't done so, I've got some videos on YouTube about self-healing and spiritual healing and stuff like that. You can join us on our Sunday services, and we actually go through some guided visualizations. But really focus on noticing where you may be attached to the ailment rather than the healing and the wellness. Because right now there's a little bit of, you've got one foot on either side of the fence. One side of wellness, and you know it's going to be okay, but you've also got the foot on the other side of the fence, which is mainly being held there by the work and the other economic concerns. But in the healing, you want to really detach from everything else and make, this is my healing space. This is the time for me. The more my wellness is managed, the better I'll be able to take care of my economic challenges and issues. So I would say, really focus on and do some journaling around detachment. Detachment. So you detach from the ailment and allow yourself to step into the space of healing, wellness, and stuff like that. For me, I find the best time to do it is in the 10 minutes right before I go to sleep. I basically create, from the time I lay down in bed to the time I go to sleep to the time I wake up, as my healing space. And I create an intention of regeneration, resurrection, renewal. I do a white light healing. I'll get a bowl of white light and I'll put it wherever I'm needing the healing. And as I'm drifting off to sleep, I'll say a few affirmations. I am healthy, I'm well, I'm fit. And I really will just maintain a sense of order and healing and positive recreation of my body while I'm asleep. The more intentional and focused I am on that, two things happen. I sleep better, and any nagging ailments I've got seem to go away more quickly.
Okay.
So that's what I would offer you. And I will bless you and leave you with that.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. And so I see, I believe it's pronounced Susana. Susana, welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. I'm going to give a message to Lisa first, and then it'll be your turn. And I will give you the warning that you get a message for your highest and best good. Then you also get a follow-up question. And if Spirit is keeping up their track record, most likely whatever question you came in with is going to get answered in your first message. So do a little thinking while you're waiting on what you want your other question to be. All right, Lisa, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to give you a message. I've got the image of you, and you've got your arm in a sling, and that's your right arm. And as your arm is in a sling, you're holding what looks like a hatchet or a tomahawk between your thighs, and you've got one of those sharpening things, and you're sharpening this hatchet or this tomahawk. And as I take a step back, this is coming from Nathan. And as I take a step back from that image, I've got you practicing throwing a tomahawk or this hatchet at a target, and you're using two hands, but somehow you've done it. You practiced so much, you've not treated this side very well, but you're still determined to figure it out. So you're busying yourself with sharpening the tomahawk. And Nathan is saying that sharpening the tomahawk will not improve your skills. He wants you to focus on other related activities which will improve your skill at throwing the tomahawk, because the sharpness of the tomahawk won't matter. So you've got a situation that's going on. You've been working very hard. You're feeling kind of like you're not making the progress, and it's kind of almost detrimental. But you're focusing on the wrong aspect of how to improve your skills to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So the message around this is, I think Stephen Covey's the one who said it, first things first. And sharpening the tomahawk is not first. It's really building up muscles, talents, and skills that will support you in the direct accomplishment of what you want. And then you can always sharpen the tomahawk later. This definitely feels work vocation related. And about some change that you're wanting to bring about sooner than later. And I will bless you and leave you with that. And if you want to type your question into the chat box, assuming you can type with both your hands. Hi to everyone on YouTube. If you're just tuning in, we're doing a live messages circle. You can get, in the description should be a link. We're doing it again at 7:30 tonight. You're welcome to join us then, and hopefully to see you then. And this is a sense of T.S. Hall, the Stoic Medium, and what type of messages and readings we do at on our Sunday services and on our messages circles. Yes, what would you like to ask, Lisa? So you want to know if they both will work out? Got it. All right, so Tao Chuan Ling steps in to answer your question. And the question is it's about things that Lisa's got going on in of a personal nature. He says the one that you think is a slam dunk is the one you need to really focus on more. There's one that just feels like it's right, it should work out, everything's aligned, and it should go. And the problem is the way you phrased leap of faith, and there's the doubt around the one that feels like a slam dunk. There's a slight bit of doubt that's in your unconscious mind that you're allowing to distract you and become a bit of self-sabotage. So do some journaling, do some sleeping on it, do some dreaming true. Allow yourself really to see what that unconscious bias or unconscious opinion about it is, so you don't self-sabotage. The second one, the one that does not appear like a slam dunk, it seems like it's going to take a little bit longer the gestation period feels longer. So I think that's probably why you're a little bit less concerned about it and it doesn't feel as real. Be very clear on exactly what you want the outcome to be on the one that does not feel more like a slam dunk. And that one, he's showing me the old carpenter's adage that you measure twice and cut once. So on the one that does not feel like a slam dunk, which feels like it's going to take a little bit longer for things to kind of materialize and get set up, get very clear on the end picture you're wanting, and then stay true to that end picture. So create a good blueprint and then design that one into the blueprint. And I don't really see it's a question of faith on either one of them, but I do see that it is a matter of clarity and focus. And then once it feels right, jumping in with both feet and going all in. And he reminds you that comes with a caveat of in time and on time. And I will bless you and leave you with that. Do you have any other questions on it? And just for the people who are on, Lisa has a new computer and hasn't figured out how to get the microphone and her camera working, so we're going by the chat on this. Yes, so the Venmo, if you'd like to make a donation by Venmo, it's TS-Hall, I believe. Or you can go to the tshall.com/donations page, and there's a link there to the Venmo. So that's probably the more safest, because I don't know that if I'm messing up on that. So yeah, go to the TS-Hall/donations page, and then there's a link to the Venmo there. And again, this is a donations service. Thank you very much, and I'll bless you. And Sasena, how are you? You can unmute yourself. And does your camera work so I can see your lovely face, or not? If it doesn't, no worries.
It does work. Sorry, I'm on my phone.
No problem.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I've been on your listserv for a while.
Yay. I'm glad we finally connect in person.
Yeah.
So here's how it works, is I'm going to offer you a message. Then after the message, you can ask a follow-up question about it or anything else you want. And I don't think you're here for our little messages disclaimer that the future is not cast in stone. It's a possibility or a probability. So if you get anything about the future, it's given to you so you can either step around it if it's something you want to avoid, or take actions to bring it about if you want to have it happen. So that's just that. Typically, I work with Nathan's who's here, and Tao Chuan Ling, who's here. He's a Chinese priest, and he's a middle-aged white guy. And I got a joy guy named Christopher, and I got a Native American protector. So typically, one of my teachers will talk to your teachers and then tell me what your teachers would like you to hear for your highest and best good. Okay. So would you like a message?
Yeah.
Okay. A long, long time ago, and almost it seemed like in a different lifetime, I participated in some seminars. And the thing that was almost the most impressive thing about the seminars is the seminar leaders would draw a lot of circles. And they spent a lot of time drawing perfect freehand circles. So it'd be nothing on the board, and they would go up to the board and they'd take their chalk and they'd whip out a circle, and it would be perfect almost every time. So the message I'm getting for you right now is you've got something that you have been practicing a lot on to get just right, just right, just right. And this is coming from Tao Chuan Ling, my high teacher, and he's saying that if you were in the audience watching you do what you were doing, you would be very impressed. But because you see every flaw in everything that you're doing, you in this case are being your worst critic. So you've done the practice, you've done the work, and he wants you to consider that, and rather than trying to get more perfect, move forward with good enough. And as you move forward with good enough, you'll start to get feedback from others. And by others, it means, in this analogy, the people in the audience, that damn, that's a good circle. Because you're, in this case, you're being your own worst critic, your own, you're judging yourself rather harshly. And the skills you've got, and the aptitude you've got, and the competence you've got is more than sufficient to get you to the next step of what it is you want to accomplish. And the only thing that's holding you back is your concern that this circle is not perfect. So take the leap, allow yourself to move forward with good enough, and then you'll learn what the next thing for you to start to master is. And what's interesting is this, usually there's a really clear black and white, whether this is personal or business. This feels kind of a cross between personal and business. So it's something that's very near and dear to your heart, which also has a vocational aspect to it. So it's a really nice circle, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Would you like to ask a question about that or anything else?
Yeah, that applies to my work, I think, in my personal life. I guess my question is, I just came out of a relationship, and I just want to, so it's a heavy kind of parting, and I was just curious, I'm really harsh on just like analyzing the relationship over and over, and anything, I don't really have a question, maybe was that the right thing, am I on the right path? Keep practicing this relationship thing, and it's always been
That seemed to be a big one for a lot of people, including me. All right, so this one comes from my little joy guide, Christopher. So Christopher is probably about 6.5 years old and looks like Buster Brown, if you've ever seen a picture of Buster Brown before. Kind of from that 1920s era, early America. Missing a tooth in the front. So he's showing me you sitting down, and in this example, he's got one of those really big, like first grade pencils and a piece of paper that's like wide rule lined. And he wants you to write a letter to yourself with 3 parts. He wants you to write a letter to yourself on your next birthday, a letter for your birthday 5 years from now, a paragraph to your next birthday you, a paragraph to the 5-year birthday you, and then he wants you to write a letter about what you learned from 5 years ago on your birthday. So it's Dear Me, birthday 2021 or 2020, whatever the case may be. Here's what I've learned and processed from my relationship with blah, blah, blah. Next paragraph, dear birthday me in 2025 or 26. 5 years after my relationship with so-and-so, here's what life's looking like. I'm so grateful for learning this because it's made every additional relationship ideal. And then the last paragraph that you wrap up is, dear 5 years ago, 2015 birthday you, how much you've learned and how this relationship was better than the previous ones from 5 years ago. Now, what Christopher is wanting you to do is to find the balance between what's really going on with you. I'm going to put you on mute for a second because I got
I'm sorry.
Some background. Thank you. What Christopher is showing is he wants you to make this more like a game where it's going to be a fiction. So it's not going to be like real because you have a tendency to be really harsh on yourself. And like you said, overcritical and over analytical. But he wants you to make it kind of fun in the game. And it's kind of like my summer vacation attitude. So you're going back to school and you're going to do, on my summer vacation, I did this and this and this. So on the next birthday it's like, on my next birthday, this is what happened on my summer vacation after I broke up with whatever. And then 5 years from now, and then 5 years ago. And then he wants you to set it down for a little while. And he wants you to look at it about a week or so later. And then he wants you to really edit it from anything that's negative about you and change that negative into a positive. So this next Sunday, the talk we're going to do on Sunday is how to create your future by living intentionally. And this is one of the things he's wanting me to really have people start doing is look at a 1 year window out and a 5 year window out and start to tell a story about what they're going to accomplish. But then after they write those stories, take a look from today 5 years back at the progress you've already made towards accomplishing those two futures. And I think what you'll find is that unconscious or subconscious thought that has you be so critical of yourself and trying to take full responsibility in an area where you're not fully responsible. Because a relationship, as they say, is a two-way street. And unfortunately, you seem to want to take responsibility for both sides of the street. And that's due in part, he's showing me that you're very sensitive. If you're not a healer, you would make a very good healer. If you are a healer, we need to really work with you on becoming more detached from your connection with other people, because sometimes you take on stuff that's not yours. And that's a mental trick and a mental skill. And you do that very much when you're intimate with someone, whether it's intimate romantically or intimate not romantically. So do that. And if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email, and I'm happy to support you that way. And the other thing he's wanting you to do, and I've never seen this from him before, so it's actually quite fun. When you write this letter, he recommends you do it today or tomorrow, and you look at it next week. He wants you to come up with some pictures that make you feel good. So it's kind of like his take for, as a 6.5, 7-year-old first grader vision board. And so if you like a pine tree, do a pine tree. If you like mountains and lakes, do that. If you like sunsets and sunflowers, do that. Because there's something about you that when you see an image that's touches your heart, it says more than the words. And he really wants you to, as you go through and edit out anything that you don't like, really to have some imagery to go with it that allows you to let go of anything you don't like, and then replace it with this imagery and a feeling that that you like, is what he says. So with that, I will bless you and leave you with that. And you can unmute yourself if you have any other follow-up or questions.
No, I think that's a good start. Is this recorded anywhere on YouTube? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I am live streaming it to YouTube. It should be on YouTube or Facebook. And I've got it also recording on, should be recording on Zoom. So the answer to your question is yes, it should be there. And I've been having technical gremlins. And that's my own personal beat myself over the head thing. So yes, it should be out there somewhere. And if not, I will get it for you.
Okay.
All righty. All right. Well, I will bless you and leave you with that. And Lisa, good luck on your stuff. And I will, we're back at 7:30 tonight. So hope it all went out on Facebook and YouTube. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, do them in the comments. And hope to see you at Sunday's service at 6 and 9 a.m. Pacific time. I will bless you and leave you with that. And remember, spiritual is as spiritual does. Okay, kids. Bye-bye.